Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Vocal Overdub. Hopefully, this episode don't come off as, I don't know, a sad one, but I need to talk about it today. My condition, man, my life, on what I have dealt with. Shoot, I don't even really know how long, but I know back in 2007, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I know as a kid, I always suffered from migraines. And so it took them a long time to really determine what was wrong with me. And so when, I guess when you go from having bad headaches to something that they say could have the potential to paralyze you, man, at 32, that can kind of, man, that take your dreams away. And it was funny because I didn't believe it until they had showed me, of course, my brain scans from the MRI, which you can see in the image that I have posted on the banner for this episode. But anyway, my reason for wanting to talk about this today was because I want to vent about this condition, man. It's really crazy that this is the condition that every day you have to try to convince people that you have because you don't look like you got it. And it sucks because I've been off for work since January 27th of 2014. And from that day when I went out, I had every intention on going back to the money. And it's funny because that month of January that I worked, I made $9,400. So, and I'm not trying to brag right now, but you already know I was trying to get back to the money, right? And I worked in the office. I was a supervisor in the office. I'm not going to say what company, but you can only imagine me wanting to get back to the money. And I say that because I wasn't like a manual laborer, working in a refinery or anything like that. So I pretty much had a good type of job that wasn't too extensive on my body as far as physically, but mentally it was. I've been in the mortgage industry for quite some time. I think, since about maybe 2000. I think it was about that time. Anyway, I say that to say this. I kept wanting to go back to the money. Every time it was close to me going back, I got sicker. And so I kept trying to figure out if God was trying to tell me something or if I was getting worse. And so I was battling myself, man. I was getting scared because I was like, is it over? Like, is everything over? Not just work, but is my life over? Like, is this it? Is the wheelchair coming? Is this what the doctor told me back in 2007 when he said that it was no promise as far as what my future will look like, because MS is one of those conditions that we don't know too much about. So the problem with MS is that every time you go to the doctor for anything, they always blame it on MS. You can go for a sore shoulder, might be MS, right? So you can only imagine how I felt, feeling like I was okay, but I wasn't. So anyway, I'd got to the point where the short-term disability situation, which is 10 days, was up. And so I had to consider the long-term disability. So disability was cool. I was making $4,400 a month. Again, not bragging, but it was still decent income to survive off of for a year. But I still wanted to get back to work. For those who don't know me, I'm the type of person that likes to be around people. Not being around people doesn't feel good for me. So of course, coming from, prior to being in the office, I'm well liked amongst my friends. So I've always been like the leader or the mentor amongst my friends. So when I started working, being in the office and well liked in the office and being supervisor, mentor, and project manager kind of put me in positions where I would facilitate, come up with training and things like that. I had the opportunity to travel, and I'll get to that in a second. But I loved being around people, man. So to get to a point where now I have to sit at home and watch my wife leave for work every morning, watch my kids get up and go to school, and I'm in here by myself. And there was this black chair that I would sit in every day, and I would be in that chair, man, teared up sometimes, right? Because I'm like, what if they come home and I'm out? And I'll be honest with you, man. Some days I would feel like I didn't want to be here anymore because I felt worthless. You see, this is my second marriage. Not gonna talk about the first one. It just didn't work out. But this is my second marriage, and I felt like somewhat of a knight in shining armor for my wife. And so to get in a position where you feel like you finally found the perfect one for you, and you finally got life on how it should be, and to come to a point where you can't even be the leader for a man, being the leader and the provider that you wish to be, it takes a lot out of you. And then not knowing what your tomorrow will be and whether or not there is a tomorrow, it kills you, right? Mentally, it kills you. And then knowing that you have a condition that could physically take you out of here. As far as I'm gonna tell you, man, real talk, being paralyzed is like a form of death in my eyes, man. So it was just hard. So anyway, I gotten to the point where I depleted the disability. That 1 month in January that I worked allowed me to get 3.5 months of unemployment. But then the money stopped altogether. My wife became the only source of income. And, owning my house and what I was making before, of course, allowed me luxuries. And those luxuries had become a burden upon my wife once she had to take everything on. So basically it came to listening to a tow truck come and take my truck away, watching television, and the cable gets cut off on the cell phone, and 9 o'clock hits and cell phone cut off some days in here, and the mail comes, or the gas man comes and say we need to do something, or the gas is going to be cut off. And man, it was crazy. So you get in a position where you're able, and then you come to a position where you're not able. So anyway, you have a lot of talks with God during the day, because I'm a believer. And every time I say I'm a believer, I bounce back and tell people that it's one thing to say you're a believer, but how much a believer are you? Because so was the devil. In fact, he was probably more of a believer than half of the people who say they're Christians or whatever religion they follow, because of the fact that he was there. And he knows more about the Bible and the Most High than we do. But I believe in the Most High, I believe in the Creator. So I was going through this battle where you are looking up and asking the Most High, why me? Sometimes we get a little arrogant and say, I didn't do anything to deserve this, so why me? And Then I had to start thinking about Paul's thorn in his side when he kept asking the Lord to take it away and he wouldn't. Then I started trying to rationalize, okay, maybe the Lord has put this on me because I'm supposed to do something with it. So then I started really getting selfish with it and started saying, well, maybe if I do this for the Lord, he's going to bless me and my breakthrough, quote unquote, because that's what, the churches teach us. Maybe my breakthrough is going to come because I'm doing what the Lord wants me to do. And I just started trying to figure out that if I do this, then there's going to be some type of a healing. Even if it's not a physical healing, there'll be some type of a mental healing for me to get through what I'm going through, right? So I'm doing all of these kind of things, man, and I'm trying to fix my situation. But then I started coming to the conclusion that all of this is my plan. This is what I want, right? And so I started feeling even more depressed than I was because, again, for those who know me, everyone knows that Curse, DeCairo, Poncho, Juan, Dewan, whatever you call me, I always had an answer or solution for things that seem troublesome or hard to overcome. But for MS, I had no answer. I had no answer. And so being alone in his house was really tough. I'm in the house now, but I'm not alone. My kids are here. But anyway, I was battling, man, and every day. And so I'm trying to figure out what I have to do and what's going on. So when I get to the doctor, and we're talking about me going back to work, he's like, you have to make a decision. What's more important, your wealth or your health? And I couldn't really explain to him how tough of a decision that was. And then he said, let me ask you a personal question. And I said, yeah. He said, how much do you make? And I told him, and he's like, oh, but still I have to ask you. And he asked me the same question. And he said, here's the thing, I could send you back to work, but what if you go back to work and then you end up in a wheelchair or something even worse? And I said, dang, doc. So he said, so here's what we got to do. You got to apply for Social Security. So he does the paperwork and he said, you shouldn't have any problem getting Social Security because everything is already listed. It's all in your medical records. And you've been dealing with this since 2007. So you shouldn't have any trouble getting approved. And so here's the thing. I'm not a liar like that. And I'm thinking like, yeah, people get Social Security approvals all the time. I didn't know. And so I thought that I would be a shoo-in. Fill out the paperwork, send it in, denial. And they say, you could dispute, you could send in another one. So I appealed it, send in another one, denial. I'm like, damn. I mean, what a brother got to do, right? So then I get a call and they say, well, are you suicidal? Do you want to kill yourself? And I said, no. I said, I'm sad, but no, I'm trying to live. That's why I go to the doctor. That's why, I'm doing what I got to do to get through this. I'm only applying for Social Security because my disability and unemployment has depleted and I have no source of income other than my wife's income to survive. And we got to eat. And so they said, reapply. And so I reapplied and wasn't hearing anything. And then talking to family, they said I needed to try to get a Social Security lawyer. Did that. Not going to give this law firm any credit because they were trash. They were trash. The judge in the hearing didn't even like them, and I'll get to that in a second. But anyway, I'm still thinking that now I have the attorney and everything is on track, that things were going to work out. So fast forward, July 7th, after going to the mail every single day, and thinking that now I have the attorney, because everyone say you just need an attorney. Once you get an attorney, things should work out, and all of this kind of stuff. And then, like I said, I had to have a hearing. So during the hearing, I don't with MS, and I'll explain what MS is, but I kind of want to get out where I'm at right now. But during the hearing, I had a flare up, and because with MS, anything that like gets you too excited or works you up too much can cause you to have a flare up. So I had a flare up during the hearing. The judge was in Sacramento, so this was like sort of a teleconference type thing. So he was not in the courtroom with the lawyer and I. And so I'm like, and he's saying it. But then the attorney I had in there, he got on my attorney because my attorney was texting during the hearing. It was just all bad. But anyway, get through the hearing and waiting. And I thought the hearing was going to be yeah or nay that day, which was March 10th of this year, which is 2017. And so then afterwards, they say, no, it'll take 30 to 90 days, which is 90 business days. So anyway, every day spent going through the mailbox, hoping that it's there. Sitting in limbo. So finally, like I said, July 7th of this year, hear back from them, unfavorable. They wrote on here, they didn't like the attorney that I had. He misread, he didn't do me any justice. But anyway, my condition wasn't bad enough. Basically, I would have to be near death, it seems like. So man, I'm not sad, man. I'm just disappointed because I feel like this whole time they knew that they wasn't gonna approve me, like when I walked out of that hearing. So I'm pissed off, man, in all honesty today. I'm not sad. It's just like, I just feel like my life has been on hold, and my life has been on hold for a long time. And see, the thing is that people don't know, I've been dealing with this condition for 10 years, and I've been a trooper, a soldier. And so this brings me to today on what I want to talk about. I used to work for a company that I've been with for 11 years that I love to death. And I really now have so much appreciation for them, because I remember when we didn't know that I had MS, how supportive they were of me during the times when I would be at work and lose vision, or I would break out in sweats, or I would stop breathing, or just weird stuff. And they would be right there on the floor holding my hand, and these were like managers and up and peers when I was a regular associate. And then when I became a supervisor, my associates, or just everyone, just always supportive, even going to the hospital with me type of supportive, right? And I remember even days when I would be in the ambulance, and there were a couple of times when I would hop out of the ambulance and try to walk back to work. Like I was just always thinking I was Superman. I remember going to India, having a flare up when I'm training some of my associates in India. Then I remember they say you can't travel far anymore because we don't know what's wrong. And it was too far for me to travel. But again, we didn't know what was MS. So it was a joke, like DeJuan's going to tighten up, or, they would do, different movements, but it was a joke. It was cool. Like I said, we just kind of poked fun at what was going on until we finally found out what was wrong. But man, I'm like, since 2010, I have dealt with this condition. So it's not like I woke up one day and said, I just don't want to work. I just want to live off the system. You going to pay me? No, it's never been that. Matter of fact, it wasn't even that when they told me how much I'd probably get, which was, I think, like $2,200 a month, if that. Come on, man. You think I want to go from the income I had before to just $2,000 a month? No. That's not my plan. That wasn't my goal. My doctor took me off of work because he said, you're considered stable. We want you to stay stable for the rest of your life because we feel that if you continue to push yourself like you did on your job, there is a chance that you could get worse. So let's keep you where you at. But this Social Security thing wants you to be near death. I don't know if it's because of my age, so they feel that they got to pay me out too long, or is it they want you close to death, which would be the same. They want you close to death, whether it's in age or health, because they feel like if we only got to pay them for 2 weeks, we can deal with that rather than 20, 30, 40 years. That's too long. I mean, damn though. Condition is a condition, bro. And this MS thing, man, I get it. I get that it's invisible. I get that I look like I can do a lot of things, and maybe I can. But the problem is that when you get tired from walking just down a flight of stairs, or when there's some days where you can't get out of the bed, or when every single day you in pain, come on, man. You got to give us credit just for wanting to get up at all. You got to give us credit just for doing a lot of things. And I have a lot of appreciation for people living in situations where they're in wheelchairs or they're dealing with cancers and things like that, man, because people don't, I've learned that people don't get it until they have to go through it. You know, people don't understand or care until someone close to home comes up with a condition. And this is what's sad. This is what's messed up. So I'm at this point right now where, one, I can tell you for sure, no one knows what God's plan for their life is. And as to why, the only thing I can tell you that I strongly believe is that when you're going through something that's some type of a suffering, there are times when you can find that your testimony can help others. And I've been able to do that in a lot of ways. And I'm going to do more of these when I'm talking about MS. And I have a few friends and family members with it. And they say MS ain't even hereditary. So I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't even know if it's in the food or what. But I'm going to start doing more of these, man, because I think that like right now, I don't even know where this thing is going. I'm probably all over the place, and I really don't care because, like I said, I just got some news on Friday that just kind of had my weekend just all over the place. And I hope y'all don't mind going all over the place. Just treat it as a roller coaster right now. And we just going through some loops. Because I'm just, dude, man, we thought we were approved, me and my wife and my family. Like everybody say, man, you gonna get it. You gonna get it, man. It's all on the paperwork. It's in the paperwork. They don't care about the paperwork, yo. Then people saying, man, you should go with a cane. I kept feeling like, why do I have to lie on when it's written? It's written. It's all there. And I'm going to tell y'all everything. I just haven't got to what's all on the paperwork. But anyway, I'm sitting here, man, and I'm tripping right now. Why do you have to look sick when it's there, especially from a doctor that's reputable? This is not some doctor that's some, I get it. I get that people lie. I get that people play games. It's a whole lot of people claiming 5150 and they own it though. They making up stuff and they own it. And then they like, well, if you say you're going to kill yourself, then you'll get it. I don't want that on my record, man. So, oh man, y'all have no idea. Y'all have no idea where I'm at mentally right now. But I'm good though, because at the end of the day, I'm still me and I'm always going to be me. And the one thing that people can't take away from me is my mind. I'm stronger through all of this right now. And the funny thing is that Had I not gone out on disability, I wouldn't have gone back to school. I'm realizing how great of a graphic designer I am. 23 years ago, I got accepted into Loyola Marymount. And I didn't finish school because I was too cool for school, man. I was straight AB student in high school, all through school, even from kindergarten on up, I was good, right? But when I got to college, I felt like because I've always been into music, and I always just felt like I had and I ain't crying, y'all. My voice is just kind of, I don't know, flimsy right now. I don't even know. But I always felt like I had other plans for myself. And if life was moving too slow, I had to move on. And so I didn't finish school. I was a dad in high school. So life was just having to move faster for me. So it wasn't until I saw my oldest son graduate from junior college and then continue on to finish up college, that I was like, damn, this was part of the reason that I dropped out, and he's past me. I'm going back. So I went to school, back to school, and I'm doing this graphic design thing, and my professor's like, man, you're good at what you like, man. And I said, you know what? I would have never known had I still been working, because I put a lot into work. I put my all into work because I enjoyed people recognizing my skill set, and I enjoyed being around people. And I remember my last employer, prior to me going out on leave, there was a point when they thought I was faking, which sucked. Not the employer that I was at for 11 years, but the one that I was at prior to me going out. I'm not going to bring them up because I don't want to put them out there like that. But they thought I was faking. That hurt me. Because again, I never really looked sick. And then I had to say, like, what kind of person gets sick at the end of the shift, where I'm saying I just can't drive home? My mama got to come pick me up. Or I'm sick on my lunch break, so I'm laying in the car sick in the heat. Cause weird with MS, you're supposed to stay cool, but I like the heat because it makes me sweat and it kind of relaxes my muscles. But man, I deal with all kind of stuff, y'all. Y'all have no idea what this battle is like with this condition. And for those who don't know about MS, MS has to do with the myelin sheath around your nerves trying to heal itself. So your body is an autoimmune disease, and I don't talk about it in layman's terms. I don't like to get scientific on people because it's pointless. But your nerves, think of it as like an extension cord that's damaged. So meaning like it's burnt or something. And when you burn something, it bubbles up or it scars up, and so the current has to try to find a new route. But if you have that extension cord and the route is damaged and there's nowhere else for it to go, it's all bad. But because we have so many other nerves in our body, there's other routes for signals to go. The thing is that MS affects the brain and the spinal cord, but you don't really on the outside look messed up, quote unquote, unless it maybe if you can't walk straight. Like some people have balance issues. For me, I'll tell you, the most that you'll probably see is some days I'll be walking and then I'll like stumble because my legs give out, like I'll get fatigued or they'll tighten up. My hands, it'll look like I'm gripping my hands really tight, so the veins in my hands will be visible, like I'm flexing. Vision in my left eye, I get optical neuritis sometimes. It's like suffer from constipation. It's oh man, it's a lot, and I'll go down the list in a minute. But anyway, they thought I was faking, and that hurt. And I'm like, so basically, just like with these Social Security people, you gotta look the part. And I'm like, why do I have to look the part when it is what it is? This is the kind of stuff that make you upset, man. Especially when I come from a place who supported me. And I've always been an honest person, especially when it came to work. Anybody who's worked with me will tell you that. I put my all into working, man. I'll give you my everything. I stay after, man. I skip lunch to work. People who have worked under me, I push you hard. I want you to take my job because I know that you're no threat to me, because as I'm helping you move up, I'm trying to help myself move up. So to go to this place, and it wasn't that I was doing a half-ass job or anything like that. I just didn't look like I was sick. So they thought that I was making it up. And I say that to say that sometimes in life, we have to realize that we got to be stronger even when we're at our weakest point. And I guess that's what I got to learn through this, even through everything, because I've always growing up had been this I've always been like the cool dude, the dude that you want to know, and the dude who had everything good, like the cool mom, the cool dad, you know, the cool step parents, the cool kids, had everything first, was spoiled, the cool grandparents, like, and so when it seemed like life was spiraling down for me, it was hard for me to accept that. And I guess I used to feel invincible at times. And MS is that constant reminder that I'm not. So I don't know how to take this thing, man. I don't know, meaning I don't know how to take it as far as like what this message is from the Most High. I know that is testimony. I know that I'm supposed to use it like that, to help other people. But like I said, today, man, I just kind of wanted to get some stuff off my chest, man, because I'm all over the place with this stuff today. Because I'm painting right now. But not painting how one might think, like he's sad because it didn't work out with the Social Security thing, as far as him getting the money. Yeah, I'm sad because I had plans. I wanted to get caught up on everything because, like I said, 3 years down, and then for 2 years, really nothing coming in except for little scraps that I get in from doing graphic deals here and there. But I'm thinking about graphic design. People want you to do the work, but they don't want to pay. Same thing. I'm a music producer. People want the beat, but they don't want to pay. Then I have my social media platform where I mentor people. Some appreciate it, some don't. But I'm involving myself in a lot of stuff. But if I have to get out there and start working again, it's going to be like, well, why were you out for work so long? I can't tell them why, because they're not going to want to hire me. You don't want to hire no sick people. So it's kind of like, how do you live? What do you do? But I'm not a quitter, because I feel like once a quitter, always a quitter. But it's just a matter of realizing what your next steps are. And I'm sitting here, if it feels like I'm ducking and looking down or something, it's because I'm looking at all these conditions. Like it's like multiple sclerosis, migraine, major depression. And the depression was just listed because they felt like I was not dealing with my condition well. Left knee pain, which there's a pain that I get on my left side, which we don't know if it's from the MS. Hyperlipidemia, a cough, which we weren't sure if the MS was causing this because it was persistent. Constipation, which is because I have tightness in my muscles, in my abdomen, which we don't know if that's MS related. Optic neuritis, which is, like I said, sight and vision issues in my left eye, which comes and goes. Peripheral neuropathy, which is in my nerves, which is basically numbness in my limbs. And then syncope, which is basically I lose breath and I faint, and it's weird because I just nod out sometimes, which we don't know if it's part of MS. So I'm a soldier, man, because I'm dealing with all of this, and the doctor saying, I mean, sorry, not the doctor, the Social Security saying I'm not sick enough. It's all good, because I guess they won't understand it until someone in their family has to deal with it. And maybe they'll call me back, maybe not. But I guess the Most High has me going through this to help someone who may listen to this, or as I do more of these, because I'm gonna do more, and there'll be more structure. Like I say, I just today wanted to vent. I wanted to talk because I'm pissed off. I ain't even gonna lie about it. I'm not. I will tell you, I'm not on any medications for MS. They decided not to put me on MS medications in the beginning because they felt that my condition was somewhat benign, meaning stable, because for the 10 years I hadn't had any changes in my physical condition, meaning that what it's been since the start has been consistent throughout the years. But I always have to monitor, meaning if there's something different, I have to notify them of it. However, my last brain scan, which I think was in December, something like that, I did show some progression, meaning some more scarred nerves, but no physical changes outside of the ones that I've already had, which are the numbness and the fatigue issues and the pain. So they have me on right now, the thing that I take daily is baclofen. Every few months I'll have to take steroid, which is prednisone, and then I take every single day. I take Topamax for the migraines, and then ibuprofen. And then I'll take Zofran, which to help me with nausea, because I get nausea sometimes, like I said, especially because of times when I feel like I'm a faint or vomit and stuff like that. But my neurologist does want for me to consider taking medication soon for the MS, because he feels that as I get older, things could start changing. And the thing with MS is that if you do get a new symptom from it, there's no reversing the symptoms. So that's the fear. So meaning, like, if I have some type of paralysis or something like that, we can't reverse it. We can't, meaning people, but of course, like I told the doctors when I first got diagnosed, I believe in the higher power. So even if you give me all the medications in the world, if he has a different plan for me, I'll be healed. And if it's something that he doesn't want to heal me from, it is what it is. But I've been good this far. Like I said, it was just, I just had this thought that everything was gonna turn out different. And I think that's why I'm upset, man, because I just rode this time out thinking that I had the answer to what was going to be. And maybe that's why I'm upset, because I thought, if I do this is going to work out this way. Or maybe God wants me to do this so that this can fall into place. Or maybe I'm supposed to go back to school because this is supposed to happen. Or maybe I'm supposed to, it was like I kept trying to fit the puzzle pieces together, or fit the triangle in the square hole, or the circle in the triangle. And it was not supposed to be. And so me not having the answer is it's so upsetting, because I don't have the answer, because I'm used to having the answer. That's what sucks, when you don't have the answer and you want the answer, because I'm not the type of person that wants to put the burden on my wife. I don't feel comfortable seeing her have to take over the load. Yes, I get money here and there, not illegally, but I get money here and there, like I said, from graphic design, or my mom and my dad still help me out, because they know when I had it that I was responsible, and they know when family needed me, I was there. Funny thing about people though, when I was on top, my phone stayed ringing. And then when things started getting slow, it stopped ringing. So I came up with this thought. I wonder if people stop calling out of the fear that you might say how you're really doing. You know, when people call and they say, hey man, what's up? How you doing? You tell them. Sometimes they really don't want to know how you doing because of the fear that you might need them. And they'll feel obligated to help you, especially those who know deep down inside that you've done things for them. All the barbecues that I used to have, or all the fight parties that I had, and people coming over not bringing nothing, or my house being the spot because Curse had a dope house. You know what I'm saying? His house was big. His house was this, that, and the other. But now it's quiet. You hear that? It's only birds. My dog ain't even barking. So it's funny how people are, man. You know, and that's the hard part. When you come to the reality, and maybe that's what I'm supposed to learn from this. That everybody that you had around you before, those were false realities. And they need to be removed so that you can move forward, because you don't want to move forward with toxins. You don't want to move forward with false people around you because they deter what's supposed to be real in your life. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a troubleshooter. So of course I try to come up with solutions and answers, and maybe that's something that I shouldn't be doing in this situation, because a lot of times, you know, we'll pray to God for wisdom. We'll pray to God for help, and at the same time we're trying to move his hand where we want to move it, or we'll ask for the wisdom, but while he's trying to feed us the wisdom, we'll say, nah, I don't want that. This is what I really want to know. Oh, I thought you was going to tell me this way. Then I remember, I'm going to tell y'all something, and I'm going to be honest real quick. I remember telling God at the last job, I said, I'm not really happy here because I don't feel welcome here. I don't feel like I felt before at my last job before this one. I think I want to do something else. I want to do something surrounding. Dang, I just had a. Wow, May, okay. It just popped in my head, but I said, I want to do something surrounding what I always wanted to do, which is kind of in the form of music, in the form of talking to people, in the form of being a leader and a mentor. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm on this microphone right now talking to y'all. I don't know. We don't know, right? But anyway, man. I hope y'all stayed to listen, man. I promise these are going to get better, especially with me talking about MS. Today, I just wanted to kind of vent because I didn't get the chance to really talk to you guys about my condition before, man. But man, you living with this, and I try to refer to MS as my strength, because you can't allow this condition to beat you up. But it gets depressing trying to convince people what you have, especially at times when you really can't explain what it is. You just know, I can't sleep. I only sleep 2.5 hours through the night because I have to get up, because you can't stay still for too long because your muscles tighten up. One thing I will tell people that my primary physician told me, and I thank him for this, is that be careful on what medications you take. My primary physician doesn't give me a lot of medications because he says that medications are there to suppress you and to keep you in a position where you're constantly asleep, this, that, and the other. With a condition like MS, you got to stay mobile. You got to stay physical, not overexerting yourself, but just physical. So anything that keeps you down helps the disease take over your body. Keep that in mind. So any doctor that's trying to just continue to feed you and feed you and feed you medication, they might just be in the business of keeping you sick, because there is money in sick people. So you got to think about that. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in the vocal overdub and my rant, man. It's funny, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Plug in, get connected. I am the Cairo. Oh man, reflect, relate, record.